Oris does watches like nobody else on the planet. They are relatively unknown to common civilians, but to us enthusiasts, they get the respect. Oris is like if Zin from Germany and Grand Seiko from Japan had a baby, and then that kid was adopted by hippie Swiss parents. That's Oris. The case diameter is 44 millimeters, the lug to lug is 52 millimeters, the thickness is 12.7 millimeters. Since this is an integrated bracelet design, there is no lug width on this watch, and Oris makes a rubber strap replacement if bracelets aren't your thing. 44 millimeters is pretty large for an everyday sports watch, but because of the dial to case ratio, this watch wears more like a 41 or 42 millimeter. While on wrist, the case sides fade away and become unnoticeable. Bezel to bezel, it's 40 millimeters, which is about 0.8 millimeters smaller than the Seiko SKX, so this is one of those optical illusion type watches. It actually fits nice on my 6.5-inch wrist, and the thickness at 12.7 millimeters helps with wearability. With Bracelet, this watch weighs 173 grams. It's substantial, it's masculine, the build quality and construction feels indestructible. The TT1 is the predecessor to the Aquas. These two watches share the same ethos but have some discrepancies in their design language. Most of that difference is seen in the dial. Because of the GMT complication, this dial is pretty busy. There's a minute track along the outside of the dial with Arabic numbers every 5 minutes. The inner ring has a 24-hour track for the GMT hand, which alternates between the applied indices. Oris uses color to help with the legibility in a genius way. The GMT insignia in the middle of the dial is orange, and the only other orange elements on the dial are the 24-hour numbers and the GMT arrow. This contrasts well with the black wave dial, what I think is this watch's best feature. The date window sits comfortably at the 6. There are lume pips at the 12 o'clock and 6 o'clock positions which help with orientation in the dark. For being a watch from the 2010s, the lume still activates quickly and is bright. One downside is no lume on the GMT hand. The shark teeth-like indices are polished and complement the sword-shaped hands really well. The second hand is balanced with 2 circles on opposite ends. The finishing on the dial feels very high-end. All the printed text is clear. The typeface choices are clean and emphasize legibility. This particular reference features a world time bezel. It's pretty useful once you learn how to use it. In this demonstration, I have the GMT hand set to my local time here on the East Coast of the United States. I rotate the bezel, where New York is hovering over the GMT hand, and from there you can see what time it is in different cities shown on the bezel. For example, if it's 10 a.m. in New York, my watch shows that it's 7 a.m. in Los Angeles, which is 3 hours behind. It's pretty dope. The bezel insert is aluminum. The outer edge of the bezel has polished ridges and is easy to grip and turn. The outside case is brushed and slopes down to a sharpish angle when it meets the case back. This watch has an integrated bracelet design, but not in like a genta sort of way. The lugs are polished and really helps marry the case to the bracelet. It's unique and something that is exclusively Oris in nature. The bracelet is attached to the case via screws, which is a nice touch. The screw-down crown is signed and easy to grip, and I think it's made from titanium. The crown is a bit finicky to screw in, but from what I can gather from the blogs, this seems to be the case with most TT1s out there in the wild. The crystal on the dial side is sapphire with AR. The crystal tints blue and sometimes makes the dial look navy blue instead of black. I think it's cool. The bracelet on this watch is one of the nicest I've ever handled. The center links are brushed, the outer links are polished. Smooth to the touch on all sides, and sizing is done with screws. The clasp is super duper solid and clicks in with the confidence of 1,000 Seiko 5s. The one downside about the bracelet is that it's kind of thick. From the case, it's 24.5 millimeters and tapers down to 20 millimeters. But this appeals to its tool watch aesthetic and I think was made for the intention of a dominant wrist presence. The movement is the Oris 668, which at its base is an ETA 2893-2, 21 jewel, 3-hand movement with a date and office GMT complication. This movement features hacking seconds and a quick jump date function. One thing I love about Oris's watches the most is their signature red rotor. This watch is an automatic and beats at 4 Hz. The power reserve is 42 hours. The screw-down exhibition caseback still manages to give this watch 300 meters of water resistance. The caseback crystal is mineral. This watch opened my eyes to Oris and definitely put them on my radar. I was so surprised by their finishing and overall robustness. This watch is from the 2010s and still goes toe-to-toe with anything new in the $2,000 to $3,000 price range. If you have a bigger wrist or can get over the size of the case, I think looking for a pre-owned TT1 is a good option if you want a Swiss diver tool watch for around $1,000 used. Don't sleep on Oris. They have great stuff. So one thing about this watch, I'm not sure if it can hand wind. I've tried it. I feel like that when I wind it, it's like not doing anything. That's something that I need to figure out. There isn't a lot of information on this watch because it's kind of rare, apparently. Like, not a lot of people had it. Limited info. I would think that it hand winds, but from what I can tell, at least the reference that I have, it doesn't. So it's like a Seiko shake type of charge, type of situation. Yeah, but I appreciate you guys stopping by. I just wanted to review this watch because I think it's cool. It's really unique. I got this in a trade. If you've been watching the channel, then you know what I traded for it. I appreciate all of you for the continued support. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. That helps me out a lot, and I'll see you on the next one.